So, now of course, irrespective of your political color, your religious color, like provided how you're Ghana. So, you are doing so the home dom and this amenuko no doctor, you bet you what to mo. And I know Pedura Yebunia and say Dramani Mahama and some more Okoka Kaya Winiba. Say Ghana for the 2 million shillings. You obey, and then. Or Kwekusi Supreme, I'm my electoral commission. I said, look, I'm the only single person I'm Magia to send Babaji Ghana film course. I see. Now, I dear Midi Gina Swoni into Monje, Namon Moncrata.
Mom, make sure say Bibia, Pepe and Crata, Bibia the Danaquem.
Doctor, and Crata, and you make sure say Bibia the Danaquem put there. It shouldn't be a discussion.
Okay.
The NDC has filed from 1992 to date.
Okay.
And only the AF, you see. Every day, me they be make us a brabona me bono. Suku de uko biye, be fear answer. Say I'm on the mawa and the work ready in kind. And then you bush your penny and you be if that's all your politics.
I see.
Okay. The politics makes you check.
All right. Mammy Browso, we the NDC for Nino Massa. Presidential candidates can file there. But let me take your thoughts. Ojen is saying before you any other question we have Bisa maybe sir.
Some Mama filing today. Mr. Mama is filing today because of the failure of the MPP government.
Okay.
And Kanye Sanka. Why would he, what guts would he even have to even file? Let's not forget the 2016 elections. The results showed a gap of over 1 million. This was a total rejection of the man for several reasons. And I remember what happened in his tenure. And the Ghanaians unanimously voted against him. The turnout was about 69%, but you saw the difference was nearly 1 million. Sir, over 1 million Ghanaians decided, sir, young voter man, yes. Because they didn't like what was happening in the NDC.
Yeah.
But for the extreme failure of this government, it would not have been possible for Mr. Mahama to come back and seek re-election. That's the first thing you have to remember. And the question to ask is, in his so-called second attempt or second return, what is he offering the people of Ghana? And your time, man, can you ever call into the policies and the promises of my years of promises? Now, I share in the track record of delivering on his promises before. Now, you to juxtapose the answer, say, is it possible for him to do anything radical or revolutionary in this time? And I don't know, it's of course, the MNDC is something that the party is doing. It just say, and then they celebrate it as it's due them. But as to say, the majority of Ghanaians should rejoice at this, that's what I would really like for us to interrogate. Now, I say, then, no, Babe.
Who say he has said and Kobe putting himself up for election?
If this government was not a failure, there would be no reason for Mama to come back. What would they have been come back to tell Ghanaians? Back of this one-time failure, extreme failure, this so it's a super incompetence, right?
I see.
Of this government. That is why he's bold enough to come back and seek a re-election.
Chief of filing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you tell to me? I don't know if you are able to tell us a background of the powerful family.
Let me leave the element of surprise. I mean, all of the adds to the. But you can trust his family.
Okay. But yet, in common in from say, and I need speculation do say one here Kurana when Timmy make it. What is answer me be?
No,
it
will be very surprising to even listen to why Ombekasa. Because Yara Alan, he's not a newbie to the political scene. He has been running in the political space for a very long time. His experience, his integrity, that is in check. And I don't see how that may become an issue. But yes, as to the NDC thing, I don't know if it's worth celebrating because yes, we've seen the track record of Mr. Mahama. It's also back. I'm really interested to hear what, and so far, the attitude from promises. You can really interrogate and go deeper and expose some of the flaws.
And who's up so called? What they call Kakrani had you say, or more you had the exactly.
I've heard so many things about it.
And you there, I say you that will be a show say, ujina youth mupa e bob ontini sanka we refreshing news for the youth ana.
Yes, but say obi ka asema ese won interrogate sa policy recommendation. Right. And you say you can't because time this government came out and said yeah free SHS, yeah one this one factory and all of those things. Interrogated them. It said even before them on the same platform said it was not possible. Yes, but it be more anti officer you cause trouble. This is what we have to do. What we have to do is so we back out with policies. Say we have to interrogate it and make sure say it is feasible.
Yes, and on this table we support that kind of discussion.
That's what we actually do, and I really like that. The any kind of 24-hour economy. Timer right now, so share your regular working hours 8 hours. Yes, right. So you could might be 8 and 9. We work on there 5. So that's a regular 8-hour working shift. Yes. Even with that, it we couldn't have stable energy supply until we went into a serious issue called use of things. So you remember that very clearly. Now, Obi promised and also suggested say person here in 24-hour which means our 8-hour shift, about multiplying by 3. That's a 8-hour shift. Yes. Which goes to mean say the energy demand would rise at least by threefold. And before you tell us about the 24-hour economy, you should tell us your policy for energy generation and technology. So how are you going to increase the energy space to cater for a 24-hour economy? That has not been said. You get it? Another thing is you have to look at the health implications of such a thing. So I'll probably to say Finland, not Norway, but particularly Finland, to say normal reducing from a 5-day working week to a 3-day working week. Because I must say it's not just about work. Yes, obey a Juma, but after that, you say when you have time for yourself, have time for your family. And the advanced economies are looking at not overburdening their citizens with work, but actually looking to free time for them to be able to live. And then again, this is where technology plays a very key part of it. Juma is here for 8 hours now. With the help of technology, in order to reduce our 8 hours to probably about 4 or 5 hours, or even 3 hours. So you have a lot more time to do other things. Yes. And see, it is not just about promising a 24-hour economy because Ghanaians need jobs. Yes, we need jobs. But there are other attending factors you have to look at to be able to do those things. And so people catch me say, about the 24-hour economy. Yes, it sounds good. But I'll probe into it, maybe some questions. And your responses to those questions will make me know if it's feasible for me to even want to support it or if it's doable.
But what is the position really of the movement for change in driving? Because I know that more GTP, no?
Yes.
I've been taking a glance at some of the policy directions now.
Right.
I mean, what is the thinking of the movement for change in helping the youth of
to create jobs?
To get jobs,
right.
To create jobs.
Nice. And I mean, there's what we say. The difference between the GTP and the manifestos of the other parties, the manifestos of other parties are promises.
I see.
The GTP is not a promise; it's an action plan.
Okay.
And young culture will say, "Maybe 24-hour economy." Young promise jobs. There be how you create jobs.
Okay.
That's the difference. And the manifesto says, "So we'll create 1 million jobs." With the GTP, we're telling you how that is going to be done. See, that's a detailed explanation of what it is, and that's what we should bring up for discussion. And see, it will be some say, okay, this one, how will we go about it? How is this possible? How are you funding this? This is what the GTP is. That's the difference between it.
Yes.
But looking at the creation of jobs, Mamima will just this brief this thing. When Nelson Mandela will take you over South Africa in 1994. Now I say Ohianipa 7. I structure the economy of South Africa year.
Yes.
One of those gentlemen he invited was Alan Martin. This is not an MPP matter. This is Alan in his personal capacity.
Okay.
Today, so you have free visa to South Africa. You can bet your bottom dollar say most of the youth in Ghana will be looking to run to South Africa because of how good the economy of South Africa is starting. Right. Now, one man can take credit for that, one of our own. And I'm saying the man Alan Martin was one of the instrumental figures that created that environment. And he's bringing that expertise to bear. I say, my bida minimie Into Mumama Kenya, I can do this, I can deliver. And this is how I'm going to deliver it. That's what the GTP is. If you look at 2013, the World Trade Organization, we are saying Omo Trade Organization. Now I'm say Omo successor to the director then. All African country presidents, 54 of them, endorse the candidature of Alan Tremantin, saying Oko there, sa organization. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it.
team member for the NDC, or also constituency communication officer for Tema Central, and Yatuna Kasano. Near so me pursue a movie away from this discussion. I don't know if in about 2 minutes any rebuttal will be over.
Indeed, with the energy situation, I like the way he was making a lot of noise about the energy sector. Say they solved it. You see, they will not return to the doom source situation under this government.
Yeah, I mean,
so if we had, let's forget the semantics. But the situation was, we still had energy situations, right? Even after some claims they've increased the generation capacity, we still have the same energy situation prevalent. What they don't tell you is you see, Obiso Obetumia solve until he went to bring in American car power and all of those things. That's the idea of a solution for them. What they did not factor in is the cost of running those plants was not sustainable. And see, that's what has even increased the national debt stock in 10 years. Car power, American, and all of those things run on light crude oil and natural gas.
Yes.
These are relatively expensive. And so you see, but for the visionary thinking of the very first president we had, who decided to invest in hydroelectricity, today, Akosombo is the #1 producing energy plant in Ghana, still on broken record. Until you in 20-something, 2000-something, decades after, right, in your wisdom as to how you can efficiently address our energy situation, you take us back retrogressively, and you want us to be proud of that as visionary. It's clear for everyone to see. Your solutions were not sustainable. Because rather than thinking of more renewable, efficient energy generation capacities and technologies, you thought of what you thought at that time was the best option. And where are those plants today? Running on light crude oil and natural gas is relatively expensive. And see, in that period, you saw our debt, national debt, skyrocket. And so even though we have excess generation capacity, we're not able to fire on all cylinders. And that's why we're still where we are today. But if you go into the GTP concerning energy generation capacity, the man Alan is saying we should look at 2 renewable energy sources. That's nuclear and hydrogen. These are relatively cheaper, they're renewable, and they're sustainable. That is visionary thinking and visionary leadership. But you don't bring us back to where you're depending on natural gas and light crude oil, which we don't even produce locally. And see, how are we even going to fire those plants?
So the policy proposal for the moving forward with from Afafanto, in your view, it makes a lot of sense.
Relatively cheaper and sustainable. That's the key. Because and you bring a solution which would only be cosmetic in its application. Say, then we go back to the problem or even worse. Then that is not a solution.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
The solution is actually supposed to stop the problem and prevent the problem from returning. That's the solution. And see, if you've tried all of these things and we are still where we are today, those things are not solutions.
Anyway.
Let me briefly touch on the one district, one factory thing, and then we can move to the next issue. Yes. And see, that was Alan's brainchild. Okay. Ebimbeka said he was part of the MPP government. No doubt about it. In fact, Alan was not just a member of the MPP government. He is a founding member of the MPP government, or the MPP party. But when we say, even as Minister for Trade and Industry, and he has said this several times, for several months, no budgetary allocation was sent to the ministry. There were so many things that were happening within that space which were not conducive for him to deliver. It was on the back of that. Now,
before we move on, he made a claim that he had, under his watch, established 250-something, 56 factories. For a ministry, a budgetary allocation, so I
didn't come to that, yes. Okay. On top of that, we will say about 4 or 5 giant car manufacturing industries in Ghana. It's within the same period that most companies locally were shutting down, were closing, right? But he was able to negotiate and bring these people into Ghana. Now, they came only because of the individual, not because of necessarily the economic conditions at the time. Now, mind you, Times Magazine in 1996 mentioned top 100 people who were going to lead the world into the future. One of those, alongside Bill Gates, Condoleezza Rice and all those, was Alan Tremartin.
That's a fact.
That's a fact, yes. So, know who Alan is and at the orbit to me here. And it's on the back of that I was able to negotiate and do all of those things within a period that other factories and companies were economic conditions. And see, those car manufacturing companies came into Ghana, not because the economy was so good and was inviting, no. But they knew the policy and the plan of the man they were dealing with and knew that, yes, it is possible if this man says it's possible. And that's why they set up shop. Okay. And see, that's what we are banking on. Say, yes, he was part of a group that was no good. And we can't even speak about that group today because we are all witnessing the grand failure of that group. But he's saying, despite being a founding member of that group, once they deviated from he was bold enough to break away from that. Okay. And he's saying, this is what I'm presenting the people of Ghana. This is what can transform Ghana to be like other economies, which I have been part of building. Okay. And the case in point here will be South Africa. And it's a fact. It's clear to see. Say, why he was able to do it. And why can't he deliver the second time? All right.
All right. You're moving away from my filing and but most importantly, I mean, there's this discussion about the Techiman shooting incident and the fact that over time, conclusive to the matter. Apart from the fact that we've heard the court, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, give a ruling that the government should pay some 270,000 Ghana cedis to the 6 victims are Omulusu, life. And John Mahama has once again been in the news to say, make sure the government will punish, will look for the perpetrators first and punish them. From where you're coming from, Mojini, so far with the issue about the Chiman shooting, a battle, people dying out of election violence,
and not just with elections, but when we say there's a protest happening today in Nzema. Okay. The youth of Nzema are protesting against the sale of their lands and all of those things. I am appealing to the IGP. In deploying your men to the demonstration sites, please do not let your men go with live ammunition. I'm asking again to the IGP. Do not deploy your men to Nzema today with live ammunition. It's becoming a trend. The youth demonstrating are not criminals, and that is not a war zone. And so you have no right to send live ammunition there, because there's no demonstrator who goes for a demonstrating now or weapons. They only go with their voices and their placards and their goodwill. Yeah. And so why would you deploy armed servicemen with live ammunition? And it's becoming a trend. Every time you hear demonstration, you either hear of gunshots or some of the youth being killed. And I made certain very strong statements. Today, I just don't want to go into that space because I know I discussed it. But as to the justice system, it's very clear from several instances and examples. We don't have a justice system, unfortunately. Because and your only remedy we've seen consistently is to go and pay monies to the families of the families. That is not justice. That's an insult. You cannot quantify human life. Until you cannot even create the situation, say, Yanko Kumobi, and then after that we just go and pay monies. Who even came up with that judgment? Say, monetary compensation is good replacement for a lost life. Who even brought that nonsense up?
But at least...
No. Let's not deal with the at least, because I bet a trend. When our brother Kaka was murdered in Ejura...
Yeah, Kaka.
Yes, they sent compensation to the family. When 3 more people were killed on the streets, they sent compensation to the family. And see, and now practice. Then the quick thing they're able to run to is compensation. But you see, there's a thing. How can you say, what about court? Your DSM say, okay, yes, a life has been lost unlawfully. And see, you settle and you compensate the family. And the family accepts the money. How then do you go back and say you're going to criminalize or punish the other people for it? When monies have already been paid. And so we are replacing justice for compensation. And that is wrong. Justice is justice. And we have to make sure this thing stops.
But justice is not just also, incarcerating people.
No, I get you. But we're not even talking about incarcerations. Justice here will be preventing that thing from ever happening again. Okay. That would be the first service of justice. And see, if we just, that's what I'm saying, solutions are things that will actually stop the problem from recurring. But say, we do cosmetic applications to it, and the thing keeps happening. Where is the solution in there? And this is a very serious personal issue for me because justice has not reached Kaka. Kaka has not received justice till date. And so I take these things very, very serious. Yeah. I take these things very, very serious.
But it's a matter in court.
Then again, you see, we'll come back to our justice system, but let's not even dwell on that. But with this, it's a call in a good direction, but as to whether he has the willpower to do this, I doubt. I have very, very serious reservations with the man Mahama himself, yes.
I see.
Very, very serious reservations. And this is in line with Extinct Cubic. I don't know if you know that company.
Yeah.
His brother's company.
Yeah, Extinct Cubic,
yes.
Yeah.
On 7 December, 2016, when Ghanaians went to vote, and the results were clear that Mr. Mahama had lost power. On 29th of December 2016, he had actually signed to give off our bauxite concession to his brother's company. And this is not just me saying, these are facts. I have the legal documents here on my phone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. It had to go to the High Court, was appealed, had to go to the Supreme Court. This is a man who is standing for re-election as the president of Ghana. Where's the justice system in Ghana?
But eventually, it didn't get back. It wasn't given to them.
That's not the case. You were voted out of government on the 7th of December. 29th December 2016, you a mining concession to your brother's company. But barely 8 days to you handing over to a different government.
Are you suggesting that a chief election handing over a 7th of the following year? And government business should come to a halt just because we're losing.
That's not government business. It wouldn't have gone to the court because there was no parliamentary approval. Now, Article 256 is very clear. 257 is very clear on mining and its related issues. That you need ratification from Parliament. Where was that done? And in what space? And so you see, if you know the man Alan, you know this man has zero tolerance for corruption.
See.
To be able to leave the MPP party, which you are a founding member of, it takes a lot.
Okay.
So, it takes a very, very serious commitment to be able to do that. And see, someone says, I was part of creating this party.
Okay.
But where we've gone as a party, this is not what we signed up for. So he put everything on the line and then resigned from there. That's a very bold statement. And that is to put on record that he does not stand where corruption and thievery stands.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so for that good call, but you don't trust the Mahama person.
As to the political commitment and will, to go through with that, I don't see. Unless of course it's going to be political persecution, not prosecution. Political persecution. That would be understandable.
I see. Ken, this is what your brother is saying.
Doctor
John Dramani Mahama today. He will look for the perpetrators and deal with them, even though justice some way somehow has been served to the people.
Dr. Medase, let me forgive any other individual.
He did, let me be fair, he did 8 minutes, so you also do 8 minutes.
Say heaven, akwenya neba, nasa wa nkobi kura madrim obeyamentanta. The fact that you sit here and want to ensure fairness.
Exactly.
Nyame djuma ne bi no no. Na obi bia ondi president da. Na okasafa presidency ho no. It only reminds me of 2016 when we were going for the general elections. The attitude of the MPP, including their founding members. We said at that time, you do for. Say, President, you won't be that. And since then, we can take a break because you don't know what it takes to be a president.
Okay.
And say, and that's after Franto. Hey, I want to pardon them. But say, yendi or my use or mundi be that. And so moon exactly what they are talking about.
I see.
Yes. On records, Doctor, I want to be fair to everyone, including my brother here. What has been the position of Afafranto on the shooting that happens at Bejiman South? You see, sometimes, let's be very objective. You are seeking to be the president of this nation. That decision did not arise at the night. A well-thought decision. Into winning say what person win your mind so and now say or mine can kokra fa now for you to become minister anti enipa nwotwe ewu won kan ho hwe for you to become a trade minister enipa nwotwe ahwero mo nkwa enya so mo ya akromfo enya so mo koto aba nkwa mo kokon tokwa just for you to become a trade ministry head. So that and there who been Queen Abetana say, me person your president. Into Nippon watch it, can't wash it.
So, no, president.
Wafwa. Ccia yeti. BBA see where you still yedim. Are you saying that you are not the MD of this place? Into one can't wash it? Is that the position? You see, let's not do this to ourselves. To show that you are concerned. That demonstrates your affection, your care, your love that you have for the very people working here.
Okay.
And it's when to me and yes, I no. Na ochina, who produce a ba, ebeka so me. Tama di see me can ABC. Sisi and me who say ABC na me come on fine yasem. Enti no say what they are kunya no kra mami. Na say me ditu me no a me. San sem na make kind no me make sure that san sem no be den ebebe mu. What say you doubt? Now, what would doubt in opposition here then? What doubt your opposition here then? Let me give you a classical example of the position of the NDC. What they say, Yabusi Penny, Chairman General, Eka say, oh no, some peace documents na yes sign by National Peace Council no, sign as a chairman.
Yeah,
I didn't know Casa. Or the instant baku in Sian one of them, a very key one of them, has to do with these shootings. Which other politics in Ghana and we to me, Jina Waka said me, says we young could detail into it in election no crano, mean get ready to me, Medima Adjimbe Mobia. Why, you see, Doctor, Nippon and 1 7 a year cano. Me names a white should be close to you before that.
Oh, yeah.
Nani panu, Abia, Nani Panocana, Hondo Dona Cacra, and to acquire a Sabia, Abba, or Quay na Sechi, na watch it, one babium, Yankopato and Safra. And put dear, yeah, but and shed and yet be brave said, me a quack or two ababa, and a medium way suggestion to share mammy.
No question.
What question? Signing power when you come once. Not be our Baba president, 7 January 2025. Catcher will say, Sir, and some years see, and right from that and 70 and from that December 2020, no, up to and there. Macomos, I mean, yeah, and so what the 2 minutes shaman, sir, let me be do what justice will prevail. What's it? No, no, on to me, no, and yampa. Granted, who are workers and opposition in anything.
Your mama beat me.
And yes, sir, John Mahama beat me. You nipa or no, nipa piano. Right from 2020 to date, have you ever heard John Mahama and any platform saying, or Casa on Katechiman South? Mention one bigger platform. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Enyaye, or Casa one Katechiman shooting was. Let's compare that to the MPP and the Neba Wawuna Fafranto. You see, let's be serious here. Now, one hour Fafranto. The MPP leader Ankasankas or person young finding your president or your founding member of the MPP. And necessarily also on person by founding member, but or train home. No establishing a home. And that means MPP are one on. And I want what Nipano of the officer MPP party no more. And then they were quite general quarantine. Into 1 hour. Him no fin over. Him and no fin over. Sign Nipano, sign Crofum, MPP near for Franto, and there. Oh, my dear, because Nipan, I'm on position and then, to Minka Huasem. And there, the People's Party, the National Democratic Congress, catch it out say, look, Mr. Woody to nation means, sir, would near what brother, what papa, or for beer, who lose because Baba president and me, make sure that justice will prevail. What's it that be done? Are you saying that, oh dear, the here one is obeying you power? What for me and yes, I dear way. Now, the issue of Techiman South, who some no. Am I a chairman general cracker say, young fire to your own science, peace pipe no. Me, Uncle Chairman and Casa 7, I would have resigned from politics. Doctor, do you know what it means to somebody close to you? Nippon Kwan 7 a year canoe. I'm just waiting on the MPP, the CPP, the Afafrantos to come out to say that your position on this matter, so that Nipa ekra ebetonium. Do you know the number of people who have decided not to vote come 2024 because of incidents this year? Because who knew call in a wamba? O say Yanya Hoshe, Ochina, Abato Sanso Edu. Means uncle do and quarter about Mao, name young Kumiso and Kaho. Is that the position? Is this what Ghanaians are looking for? Do you know what it means for somebody to say that Abanukra Menya too because Menkwa hear me? What it means is that Sanipano, the very decision will be taken just to help the nation build now. Ain't me mbemu. Sansemu yes is Ghana. Yen can hoshe. Ne nipa owa bade ye or your bad time. Nipa nkwa hiano. Ababon tell the catcher say, Obi bia watching the bush because of elections or no as a president. On share Sasha Hayano. Anka me ya wa, me ya for Francois, me your sono, me ya wanya. And your symbol and a medieval most anything.
I see.
Identity. Nipa enkwa ho ebe hiano. Nipa enho ebe hiano. Doctor, maybe I would say welfare a priority of your management. It is our manager. It's not ho. Now who here and ya de hiano. How will you feel working here? Exactly. It is a work when your president or catcher will say, so what to abandon me? Let me be do so. Ubambo, me first priority. Apart from so between Yaminjuma Masani pay, and Koko to do it, and I saw Obama Sami Pano. Send a bay as Sani Pano Baba your president because the assurance is that on every single life, a key to him. Not Mayor of Francois, and I'm trade minister, and as a member president, in Nippon, look, in Nippon and what train 7 years and young punching. And young punching Ghana for Yahutoso, in fact, the statement I'll end with is this. You're John Dramani Mahama, why your presidency da. Ubi bia wa Ghana, the presidency lifestyle. Na eya mi bisa me ho say anka eya John Mahama na in quotes we need 2020 elections and nipa nwotwe wu ya what would have this man done? Be surprised that Papa Beka said because nipa nwotwe wu grant president ni mempe biom because oh yes why you be paying in 2012 yekoto aba no a nipa bi adwemu de omofele so Bukata biabe mono ye de ko Supreme Court. He is a president. One year clearing agent. He allowed the system to flow. Today he sits here to talk about justice. He's sitting here talking about justice because who the AC was 2012 compared to the AC was 2020 no. He has lost interest in our justice system. Are you saying that in 2012 Anka John Mahama as a president president may win at all costs into the mobile and family and then obviously compare justices. He's seen fair justice before. Into the woman he said, John Mahama, I bidder.
Okay.
Your friend I bidder. And the all cano and one of a be repeat. Okay. Doctor, me the man knows no, Miss Show and idiom. Ghanaian will share yes. Ghanaian will share some bring. The authority statement is this. Yeah, incoming president Mahama, should be able or cast them atu abrabum. And some all can say, Ma obi bia mbohu sent abana ye koto no obi eden kranta ni sekan beba be hunu na mpo wu a wokoto aba wo hwere wonipa bi because 2020 elections no no so be ye omampani a obeboa ama justice e be taking normal place me that's it.
All right. Last words now. Oh, you just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
Just on the record. Records. All the great achievements, Alan Wayeno was before he even came to government.
I see.
South Africa, that was in 94.
Yes.
94 now. Who was in power at that time?
NDC.
And yes, sir, post.
At that time, the economy wasn't good.
I didn't do this to you. This is my final time. I respected that I didn't interject. Yes.
No, I was only reminding.
No, but I didn't need that. I could have done that to you too. All the things, all the things he did, was even before he came into power.
Okay.
And he may say, in '96, Times Magazine declared him as one of the top 100 people for the next generation. That was before NPP bar power. 94 when he was invited by Nelson Mandela as a South Africa. That was even before Odi Post. And see, to sit here and then say, yes, only because of the post, that's really unfair to the man. Okay. And you were you're being mischievous with that. But I'll forgive you on that. I'll pardon you. Yes. Mr. Mama, all these claims of he being a fighter for justice.
No.
And
Oh.
We all wrap it.
Yes. Mr. Mama being a crusader for justice all of a sudden. It beats my mind because when we said 2020, God gave us a golden opportunity, say, well, hang parliament, equal number in parliament. But considering what has happened in Techiman, what has the MDC factor of action in parliament done with the numbers? And see, if I say that I do not have any confidence in your promise of establishing justice, we would have seen it right now that you have a golden opportunity in parliament. What has parliament done with this case? And I said, what has the NDC parliamentary candidates, members of parliament, done with this issue? As for his call for justice, it's something we've been calling for a very long time. I told you, a brother of mine actually lost his life in the line of duty, and there's been justice not served. And see, that call is a very good call. But as to say, Ora Mahama would be committed and able to do something about it, I really doubt it.
You doubt it.
Because he has numbers in parliament right now. As the leader of the NDC, with 137 members in parliament, what has he been able to do in the furtherance of justice? On the pursuit of justice?
But they still remain minority.
But equal numbers, that's a hung parliament, which is a very beautiful opportunity now. And see, it is what you do that will show me what you'll be able to do when you have power. Right now, with equal numbers in parliament, then I'll wait to me higher.
All right.
But to wrap up,
okay.
Again.
To the youth of Ghana, we've been presented with all so-called plans. I say yes, relevant questions.
Okay.
And yet, sloganeering and our campaign promises there. It is about interrogating the policies to see, sir, which one would better deliver us into the better Ghana we are all looking for.
All right.
It comes 7 December, let us make the right choice. The choice here is to vote with the man Alan Chamate.
All right.
The movement for change.
Doctor, we are saying youth manifesto for the very first time in the history of this very nation, a political party like the NDC has thought deep about the youth.
Okay.
Into the youth manifesto about sending baby okay. And that's so
what is happening to Ebi Bright? Is she winning?
In fact,
interestingly, Ebi Bright is
man can go fie. Only me saying Uncle ya Domoa or China Chiefs Day, the incoming MP for the very good people of Tema Central,
I see.
Ebi Bright, the nomination to contest as the MP for Tema Central. And I do know I didn't hear me because for the past 12 consecutive times, yet to about MP Central person. From 2012 till date, I got to a bunny beer, Dodona, Etoma MPP. Okay. And temporary so about my central. I had to say, me grow. All right. You
know, Charles is also my mate when I was doing my MBA. Charles Fossen. You, Marty.
Okay.
And Timo and both for me and so yeah, people I know very well. And they hold me.
But this time around, my central in Sacramento, who share Nipa Eshen as Citremo, the Atua Badia, and the Ebi Bright. Anyway,
all right. And yet, political grounds, no, Yedieko Gunayeda, ni Ayi Opare. National Communication Team member for Edema Movement for Change. We would love to see you more times. And Ken, Aka, Kofi,
if also
Shiache. On the Debia no see her. Or Sanso, communication team member for the NDC, or Sanso, constituency communication officer, Edema, Adishia, NDC for more Tema Central. And penny for the massive pass by, but point, I'm sorry. Director, only mean Nanti, and your bed this, you know. Nah, you're sorry. So, but in the meantime, you know, Caroline White, or the boss, the 24 hours economy does not mean one person working for 24 hours, but it's about 3 or more shifts for some numbers of people, depending on your availability. Nti Caroline, my kind amount, unsema odia banano. Sounds so na meji brain my kind. Some of the messages so waha we dia ba I'll say he who condones evil is as guilty as the perpetrator. Be a citizen and not a spectator. Let's fight galamsey now. nanka ye pebre kura nanka ya touch on it, but time no and favor ye brain kokra. I hope say next time we will do justice to it. That why already young kobe ina na birthdays na yenhwe. Okay, all right. Enti yenye birthdays no na yen sorry so. We Mr. Adams Habib. Mr. Adams Habib. And there na woda or CEO Edima Tech Properties. CEO for Tech Properties, Mr. Adams Habib. All right. We free. I say a young wish you happy birthday, mano. It's say on the radius say or didn't fear bako akawo fear. Habib, happy birthday to you from Equia Mandi. No. The diho Dixon. Dixon. Or your CEO Edima DK Cakes Dixon. We free Emmanuel Alale Eho Eneba. Or also wish you happy birthday. I say wishing you a day filled with love, laughter, and all the things that make you happy. May this year bring you endless opportunities, beautiful moments, and all your heart desires. I'm so grateful for your friendship and all of the wonderful memories we've shared. And Dixon, we free were down for her and Emba. The diho Lina Yaba a free fa. Lina Equia Yaba a free fa. To you, may God richly bless you. Na Oma wanijenso endoso. Tu unkwem na mausika bibrio. Dia uye bianso no enko ye emfemao. Lina. Yempa boy ya de ma wende ya wawodai eso ye di ho ye obapa akosia ende ya wawoda na ye jinemu na ya wish you happy birthday se yankopon entu nkwem onhyiraw oma wani jendoso na bibia wo ye bianso enko ye emfama onhyiraw adwuma wo ye na oma Enijeno enye bibri emfama. So happy birthday to you, Obapa Akusia. We so the di hoye Ernest Anoba I fro eminent. Ernest Anoba ye fro eminent. Odoko official town blue kiosk. Eho ena wo. We free wawa down for Ima Noel. Na odema or say wishing you nothing but the best of luck ewo ewiase ene abraba wo bonu mu nyina nti no for Ernest Anoba happy birthday to you from Ima the twatu okra wa ha Charles Odum Mr. Charles Odum and there wawoda Charles ye miami chochomucho Mr. Odum with you from me happy birthday to you bro bibia we bia na enko ye emfama ne yankopon enhiraw na oma wani jenso endoso kama that also Rosemary so and there wawoda we free credible ho na eba yankopon enhiraw MCR credible and on na sem na yeke o sinya kopon hira pa na onto mfema no oma munyinche se de be ya wani je nso be bebre sanity Rosemary aka Fathers Kuku Fathers Nungwa Raviko na wo sana credible ediaba nti Director, Maminchia Jennifer, na shika bichia na pay. Naminchia miami colleague we yi mi esimu ohene wa gaga lady. Gaga baby obiano ebenye sabi. I hope say bibia you're fine and you're doing well. As well, team. Time boy, Bishia. Now, Bibia Yishia, no, Yeshia na yeah. Blasters who match and do. Mon wish you like 1 minute be the 30 seconds. And I do them.
Doctor.
Wish you
the Black Stars of Ghana, idea they are so. Now, on the leadership and Kuya affected there. On the Penfoca say it's no any Juma, and many Pedrian and Casa and Ebre. And the Black Stars, and Yamo Sankamo Kakobo and Ebeyede. But we yet they could do a good form as straight upon Yankopon. So on ye are dumb. Na
and they don't win.
Oh, and that year, Nigeria, Sremo. Why? Now, some more share in Croft will want their bobo on it, dear, and ya dear Bekoyi, Unti, the Sremo.
Yeah, all the best.
Oh,
no, Neil, come on.
All right, the Sheriff Agus, Uba, so share link in Sana Salome Ofori also yichia say also journey feed na boy chidom sana yichia piaga any komensa pillar 2 master red kaswa any abusianfo a moba su nyina bebe hwe ye ma minchia odi asempa me senior man odi asempa kwame opumesu mensa and me no one a boy Juano Pepe me director Mike any sound Jeff any MCR for you credible Robbie X Munina sa suna michia me floor manager bakope something 1 and me boss bakopa Mr. Adanu any channel head Madam Abna Yadom any penifo da CTV Jumekuni nyina no echechi obibia and there Juada and we're hoping that in the coming days no bibia so ebeko fine na yenso yenya eti edidimu aminda Amelina Children's Saving for us say almost saw yasene edi dwumedie ni nyina de bre ofiti anopa 6 o'clock ABC and na aka be 3 minutes ama ya bot 10 ya edi dwumedie ni nyina ba wie no yeda Amelina Children's Saving for us say almost saw yasene Amelina said de bia ye ka no wo mu Ablikuma ewa Amelina Plaza no musanso no mo Wager Block Factory Kwantimpon so wo mu Techiman wo mu Edum ewo Kumase eno musanso wo Makola ewo Accra Amelina edidwa efa nkwada eniama ho nko a eduane nkwada edi omunum ntade omuhye mpabo omuhye bibibia de ya akwada ho a akwada no ono oda ho a wo behu se mabeye papa saa dwumedie no na Amelina anso na Nesse Mothers monso wawo foforo no Amelina dobre ni beka na Amelina got you ene de keke ka ho nyina obetimi na onu omo akodinsa woso woto omo betimi atone ma ne bi wo online woto nso betimi de deliver e de abrel e wo bibia wo bia na frɛ wo mo na onu omo dinsa woso pese wotu ne ma ne bi kura akokoto na nso nya bibi bronya na ebe nya bibi de bo wata so a frɛ wo mo 05016724445 05016724445 and also says 05016724446 now no mundi sa so sa na yeda Excel Natural Clinic for so asese omuso yasem ye de apomudin komodi no e de bre mo Excel said ya ye kan wo mo Wager gbawe kwantimpon no so na eho na omudi omudwuma pa yade bia ye wo so kwanko bia diabetes eye and skin problems kidney stone, bladder stone, impotence, cholesterol, hepatitis C/D, fertility issues, cancer. Ni yade bia no a epra wo bia no feko Excel Natural Clinic for na wono mboa. Frɛ wo mu sisi a me ne wo kasai na no mu ndi sa wo so 0536 542 509 0536 542 509 na ono mundi nsa woso sanso bitima from 0536 520897 0536 520897 na bibianso enkoye emfama mi producer ba ko pe captain Smith. I have a message. Hey, that message. Aza. Yeah. Oh, okay. I know.
I mean, Kasa.
Who constantly what they mean?
I never knew messages. I mean,
no, send me a message. Hey, say hello to our. For me, you know, remember around. Yeah, do BBS. Extra nyame ya aduma. Me producer, Captain Smart. Captain Smith. And yes, smart mpacho. Yes, I mean yes, Captain Smith. Michiao. Why you doing? Why you thinking? Anti medasi. Anti abutia. Ya dimu besi wa ha. Na extra nyame ya aduma. Ya besi enshia. Me din Dr. Kofi Annan. Ya besi nyambo achina.